we are live. We
Oh my
have.
god.
Let's make sure we're actually live because this has been being a little bit of a hoe as of late. I'm receiving
Whoa.
your content. Your audience will see you in a moment. You are live. Oh, hilarious! Gotta add another thing to the description right now. Is if you ever go back on Facebook. Well, first, I guess we should intro the show. Hello, this is Love and Chokes podcast. UFC 256. We're here to talk about UFC
You are
two.
drunk.
You're here to talk about UFC 249 and all of the fun things like Jacare testing positive. But as we tried to plan this out in advance, a funny thought just popped into my head that I need Darren to look at later today, and that is if you ever get a chance to go through some of Matt's workout videos. I think the one is on Facebook. The ones he does for the coronavirus thing. You should look at video C, the first one, and it's pretty funny because you see a man get super happy and then realize that he's gonna be super disappointed. It's really sad and really funny. Yeah.
See, you like shit like that. Like
Oh,
you're one of the people that watches shit like fail.com and shit like that. Like you like it when a man is down. When a man when a man is sad.
actually didn't pick up anything. Oh, that's nice. All right. Kaboom. Audio's back. All right, we're back again. Sorry, I apologize. Basically, short story. Love and Chokes podcast 256, UFC 249, Jacare, coronavirus. Here, Darren, Anthony, back as normal.
I like that you breezed through that so quickly. Yes, we will discuss UFC 249. It is today. Finally, fucking finally, we have fights. I mean, like, I feel like it's been ages. It's probably only been a month, right? Like, they did a good job of creating content for us to watch. They had that fight in Brazil. Dana tried.
Yeah.
Dana tried to take us to Indian reservations. He's talking about islands. But they're in Florida, where everything is sanctionable, where anything can be done. And there's an amazing fight card that I think everyone should watch. And the championships that are on the line are profound fights to me. Like these are mega fights. And they kind of both came out of nowhere. Like Gaethje and Ferguson weren't supposed to fight. Like it should be Khabib and Ferguson. And Khabib and Ferguson is a great fight between essentially undefeated lightweights in the UFC, right? Essentially. But I don't get a little tingle for that the same way I have a feeling, like a tingle for this fight, for Justin Gaethje, Tony Ferguson. Like, I heard a stat that Justin Gaethje has never taken a shot in the UFC. Can you imagine that?
I can.
Can you imagine having his wrestling credentials and being like, I'm just not going to do that. I don't think anyone wants to see me do that. And maybe that makes me tired. Maybe there's something that I don't like about that. Maybe if I wanted to wrestle, I would keep wrestling. I want to punch motherfuckers' faces off, and I'm okay with the idea that my face may be punched off as well.
Yeah.
Now, that's something that everybody says. Not everybody, but nearly everybody says. Like, I'm just going to get in their fucking cage. I'm going to stand in my ground. Like, he really does that shit. Like, he really is that guy. And I want to see that guy fight all the time. Khabib I like watching because I can, like, study his tactics. Right?
Right.
Justin, I can sit back with, like, popcorn and just be upset and just be like, oh my god. Like, that's what I want. Honestly, that's what all the fight fans need right now.
Right.
That's what we need. We need that big cathartic release. That's what the UFC 249 should be called. UFC 249 Catharsis. Because that's what it's providing for all of us. It's not a normal UFC by any means. There's all this testing.
Yeah.
Jacare tested fucking positive for Corona.
Yeah. Which.
His two cornermen also tested positive. And did you see Uncle Chael's take on this?
No. What did his take?
Chael Sonnen spoke on this briefly, and I thought it was fucking it was like he was moving like Pernell Whitaker, like just defensive movement to not be struck by this lady's questions. He was talking to an ESPN person, of which she is one as well.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like, yeah, like Jacare tested positive. How do you think that makes everybody feel? And he's like, oh, I think it's great. Like, it's great. Like, imagine if he wasn't at the UFC, he probably wouldn't have been tested. and now he's been tested, and he's going to be quarantined, and he's going to be fine. Isn't that great? Anyway,
Yeah.
I was like, what a fucking master! Like, what a fucking legend. He was like, I'm not gonna bury the UFC because that's what she wanted. She was like, well, what do you think about the other fighters? And he's like, well, they're all being tested. It's very safe. Anyway.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a smart answer.
He's the fucking best. He's the king. I am glad that we are not there right now. Only because I think that there could be a great deal of concern. I'm not certain about the levels of safety or not, right? That they could provide that's happening even like post positive test.
Right.
I don't know if he tests positive and is immediately whisked away, or like he tests positive and then he goes and gets food and then he like I don't know what happens, right? I also don't know what to think after seeing Elon Musk fucking no sell it like it's no big deal, right?
Right.
And he wants everything open again,
He does.
and a lot of people do.
That's fair.
So I just don't know what to fucking think. I'm glad that positive test didn't cancel the event. You know why I'm glad, Anthony?
Why?
Because I'm a selfish piece of shit, and I want to see fights. That's why. Not for any like, oh, because I know this or I know that. Like, no, I don't know much. I don't know if it's safe or not. I do know that I'm dying to see fights. I do know that. I do know that I miss watching sports in general.
No, it's good.
I would watch a sport that I don't even fuck with right now just to do something. Like, I would watch basketball. If it was there,
Yeah.
I would fucking watch it.
Yeah, of course.
I don't watch fucking basketball. I would watch baseball, Anthony. It's that dire. It's that bleak.
Esports, Darren, esports. There you go.
Fuck you.
They're coming on ESPN. It was hilarious. Is that's making news now? Like Levon Ball, a Jets running back, and some video game player. They're coming together to make a esports tournament for $10,000, and you guys should watch it this weekend.
Who gives a fuck about 10K? Like, not like, I mean, I'll take 10K right now. Like, all right. What I'm saying is, you can't be like, we're gonna have an event and it's for $10,000. Like remember? Do you remember the culture when like everything was like a game show for $1 million?
Yeah.
It was like a variation of reality shows.
Yeah.
Once that was the trend, you really couldn't be like, all right, we're gonna offer you $50,000. People would be like, what the fuck? Like, I'm gonna be on a different show.
Yeah.
Like, your show sucks. Your budget sucks. Like, I'm not doing whatever task you ask me to do. So I'm not impressed by Levon Ball's $10,000 fucking tournament. Fuck out of here.
Dang.
Like, you got to put up real cash. If you want the best guys to show up too, right? Like a lot of those guys make more than that on a fucking Twitch stream.
Nah, actually, not those guys. Not those guys. No.
Which guys?
No. You're talking about the guys that are household brands. The top 10 guys in the world, never heard of them. You know why? Because all they do is play video games. The guys who actually are making money on Twitch are people who are sexy, good to look at, interesting, charismatic, and are really good at video games.
That counts me directly out. I was already out, honestly. I was already. Once you were like, super hot, I was like, oh, damn. I guess that's not me. Though, yesterday, I will not name names, but someone said I have a perfect body, and it did make my day.
There you go.
Anthony, let's discuss.
The 249.
Let's discuss our takes on the championship fights. So Henry Cejudo will face Dominic Cruz for the bantamweight championship. 135. Dominic Cruz is like, I mean, like, I'm not trying to I'm not running him down. It's just I can't think of another phrase for it. It's very bridesmaid-esque is how I see him. Like, it's like he's in position and he's in the right building, but he's in the wrong dress, And it's like he keeps getting injured and all this bad shit happens. And you could argue that he's been the best bantamweight in the world for a long period of time.
Yeah.
You can make that argument. And that injuries have made it difficult for him to display what he can do. And so I would love to see him win. I would love to see Dominic Cruz win. Because I like that adversity story. I like the fact that he's been away, he's been hurt, and we have similar injuries. Like he has bad feet. I have bad feet.
Yeah.
So I feel some solidarity with this motherfucker.
I
And
yeah.
I want to see him win. And like, if you're a Cejudo fan, it doesn't do any damage truly to Henry Cejudo. He has the narrative of triple champion that he can tell to his grandkids and his grandkids. Like, if anyone wants to know if you were a bad motherfucker or not, well, at one point I was the Olympic champion. Another point I was the 125-pound world champion. And then I was the 135-pound world champion. I'm a bad motherfucker. Like, he can go tell that story for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to fight another day. As far as I'm concerned, like, legacy is already intact.
It's pretty solid.
Dominic's his legacy would improve a great deal with one more time with that belt on his waist. Just one more time. He doesn't have to defend it a bunch of times. If he can become world champion one more time before he retires, that puts a beautiful cap on his career, and I would like to see that happen.
Oh, it would be amazing. This guy it would make everything just like, oh, you're like one of the best analysts in the world, and also I'm one of the best fighters in the world. It's like, yeah, like that would just like your ticket goes up. It's like, hey, UFC, you still want to keep me around because I heard Bellator's giving out millions for me to analyze. So. What
is that true?
No,
is that real?
No, it's not real. But I'm just saying. That's what Dominic could say.
You're like, no.
No, Dominic could say that. But
I put this up.
I think Dominic, out of anybody, a lot of fighters in the world, has the like. If it was just a battle of mind, he would win without a doubt. He would win. If it was a battle of mind, he would win.
If we had a spelling contest,
no. I'm talking about just
the whole division.
The way he thinks is absurd. It's like, hey, you know what depression is to me? It's just a time for you to be selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh. He's like, I mean, like he was just like the way he just that mentality he has about like never, like it's like almost, it's like if Jordan had a shitty body, that's what Dominic Cruz would be. like I don't mean shitty, but I'm just the truth though. It's the same truth. Like I think if Dominic Cruz really let who he was out, it would be disgusting. It'd be a disgusting personality of I want to win everything and I don't want to lose at anything, and that's who I am. And if you beat me, I hate you. Like I honestly believe that is his true personality. He tries really hard to keep it together, but if you look at him and you really look at him and I think after a lot of like, you know, the wear and tear of fighting and not being able to be active so frequently has softened him down a bit. But if you really look at him at a younger age, it was like, I'm trying to beat you at anything you do. I don't care what it is. It could be playing like flip cup. I want to beat you. Like I want to win. Like if it involves winning, I want to be a part of that. And there's not so many people you can say that about.
I want to be a part of all things winning.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the same mindset. It's so like, and so like I think it would be great if he won because that would just make everything for him just look better. Like, oh yeah, your mentality. It's like it's okay if you're a dick because you're excellent. Because you're
a dick if you're the champ.
No, because you're excellent. It's not even being a champ. It's because when your body works, you're excellent.
And that's another question. Like, will his body work?
Yeah.
And like, I don't think we've seen it break down in a fight to the point where it affected him. So I'm optimistic. I think Dominic Cruz wins by decision over Cejudo. So I see it going all 5 rounds tonight.
Yeah.
And but I do wish both men the best of luck. The secondary title fight, the main event, is Justin Gaethje versus Tony motherfucking Ferguson. And Anthony, I want to know who you think's gonna win first.
It doesn't matter because I think both of those dudes are gonna beat the fuck out of Khabib, so I don't really care.
I think you should have done it like The Rock. It doesn't matter who wins.
It doesn't. Like, oh, guess what? You can't take me down ever. It's like, oh, Justin Gaethje. I'm so cool. Like, my feet just stay right here. Like, oh, that's so cool. Oh, you wrestle with people in the village. That's so great. I'm an American with American steroids. People who wrestle me with the steroids. Hey, it's true. People who wrestle.
Is it?
Of course it is. There's a lot of dudes that test hot in the NCAA. Come on now. So.
You son of a bitch.
So like, yeah, dude, like I'm pretty good at that, and I'll fight you forever. Like your will breaking thing won't take my will away from you. And then you have Tony Ferguson who lives in space, and like he probably has a dummy with just necks. It's just neck. He just works on his neck. Yeah, neck squeezes.
Catching that dart.
Everywhere.
Catching that dart.
In bed, dummy comes down from the ceiling. He reaches up and grabs it. Like it's no big
Kill
deal.
it.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I'm telling you. So who do I think wins? I don't really care. It's gonna be a great fight.
I don't really care.
I don't really
So you
care.
took a Darren stance. You took a universal Darren stance
It's like,
because that is the universal chance of all Darrens. I
yeah.
don't really care. I don't really care. Like I don't care. I understand. Justin Gaethje by KO. Tony gets hit, dude.
He does.
Tony does get touched, and he's brave. He'll go forward
Yeah.
while being touched. So I think Justin can catch him and finish him. And I think that's what's going to happen tonight. I think Justin Gaethje will be interim UFC champion, and he will go on to face Khabib. And then there's always this indirect. Anytime you talk about 155, it's like you're almost talking about Conor, right?
Every time you talk about the UFC, you're almost talking about Conor.
And I heard something today, and I heard a rumor about it a few days before that Conor and Masvidal might get it on.
Yes.
And that would make Daddy very happy.
Yeah, but you're not seeing that. You're not seeing that during pandemic times, and just letting you know that right now.
Why?
Dana's not giving up that gate. What's wrong with you? He's not giving up that gate. That's
I see. What I heard is that they might do that shit on Fight Island, cause
yeah, but they still need that gate unless people can just fly in.
They don't need that gate if they're willing to do it on the island.
No.
They are willing. What if Daddy, meaning Dana, is willing to fucking take it onto the island?
Doesn't matter. It's not. You say it ain't Conor McGregor. That's where the face off's gonna be. It's not gonna be where the fight happens. The fight ain't gonna be.
At all. No, yeah. You're like that bitch happens in Vegas with a fucking $10 million gate
in Vegas in the Christmas time. It happens Vegas then.
Well, dude, things are opening back up here.
Yeah. I get all that.
There are things that are open right now.
Yeah, I get all that, but they're not gonna have they want. I'm telling you, it's not. Oh, we want half capacity stadium. I want that people hanging from the Raptors. Like, what's up? Like, we're trying to get. That's what they're trying to do. They're not trying to. No. You put that. No. You put that away. You say that for a later date when everything opens back up. That's when you bring that out. It's like, oh, this is a celebration party for real. So you guys gotta behave, fighters, while everybody else gets hyped for your fight. So they're gonna say that for later. They're not using that right now. What you need right now is taste. Some taste to get people into the sport. A little kiss. This is a little kiss. This is a little kiss. This is a little kiss right now. It's a hype card, but it's not like, oh, what? They got GSP again? No, it's not like that. It's just, it's nice.
Ooh,
it's nice. It's
dude.
Nice.
When you said GSP, I got a little tingle.
See?
I shouldn't even have a tingle.
Right? Exactly my point. It's like that. This is cool. This is very exciting. This is very cool. But that over there, that's some we want. That's when it's time to get wild again. We're free. We're allowed to be outside next to people. Thanks Jim for coughing on me. I love that cough. Like people are gonna be cool with it.
I want someone to spit in my mouth in public the second.
See, I told you. Like it's like people. That's when that fight happens.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, you're right. Why would you have Conor fight at a time where you couldn't make the most amount of money?
Yeah,
you're right.
Because every time.
But I like living in a fantasy world where nice things happen to nice people like me. And a nice thing would be to me just sit in my bed like this, just lay back.
Whoa.
Watch Conor during a pandemic. That would be nice.
Hold on. Well, that'd be a great thing, not a nice thing, a great thing. Let's be very clear here. But we can give you some nice things. I can give you the positives of the coronavirus for the UFC. I can give you that. You see that transition right there? I did it. Followed the cue cards.
What a segue. What a fucking legend you are, sir.
Cue cards. I see them.
So this is a hot take, I think, Anthony. You mentioned that you think there's a possibility that this pandemic could have positive blowback for the UFC. Is that an accurate thing?
Yes, in terms of not only the competitors but also the actual corporation.
Okay, what do you mean?
So for the competitors, this might be the best time if you are ranked either right outside the 15 or below 10. This is your time to shine, to stay ready, to be ready, because literally it doesn't matter if Jacare, he's healthy, he's jacked, he ain't sniffling. They still said, hey, sit this one out. And Uriah Hall just missed a fight. Guess what? If, Jim John, whoever his name is, comes up, number 27 in the world, says, I have been training, I'm ready, I can step in and fight this guy today, come get me. I drove down to Jacksonville, I'm here. Like,
I'm at your house,
like
nigga.
I'm
Open
here.
up.
I'm ready to go. Like I just let me in, take my temperature. I'm good. And that's number one. Like that is the greatest thing ever. Like you're gonna have people who are actually gonna want to, like, fighters are gonna be fighters again. They're not gonna be entertainers, performers, prize fighters. They're gonna be just fighters. Where, hey, I'm ready to fight today. Like I don't have a job. McDonald's is not hiring. So like, yeah, let me fight today because I have to pay for stuff. So it's like that time where it's like it's serious, it gets real. So you're gonna see some fights where things aren't gonna make any sense. You're like, why is this guy fighting that guy? It's like, well, this guy right here, he lives in $1 million mansion and he needs to,
I
get
know
that.
for a fact they've been offering shit that doesn't make any motherfucking sense.
Told you.
Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, I'm like, it's not. And this is where people who either are in high ranking but need money are going to make a lot of mistakes, and people who are low ranking and want that exposure are going to make a lot of success. So you're going to see a lot of weird matchups happen and a lot of weird wins that would never happen normally.
Well,
Not that's
I think you've been paying attention to the stock market and it's shifting your way of thinking in general.
Yeah, like that's one benefit of this. Number two is that like everybody is going to be the people. There's going to be less cancellations for fights based on injury, and here's why: you have to be very picky with the people you train with. Like now, more so than ever, there was always the story of Winklejohn having basically bums, like literal bums, come off the street, train with Holly Holm, train with John Jones, train with Yoel, like train with them, like that doesn't make any sense at all. That seems very dangerous. That seems very stupid. And
that seems very dangerous.
And I'm
that seems ill-advised.
Yeah, and there's a lot of gyms out there that are not making the money that they can to have exclusive training partners. So you're going to fight a lot of people who are just jobbers. Now, you can get that exclusivity with your partners because it's like, hey, I can pay you because I'm the only one that has money right now because I have a fight coming up. So you're going to train with me. So you can be very particular about who you want in terms of high level training and who you're going to pick. It's going to be nice. So there's going to be a lot less injuries, a lot less people who are like, I could fuck this guy up because he took a round off and I didn't. Or he took a round off. I'm sorry, the champion took a round off, was still fighting around, and I took a round off, so I'm going to sneak one on him. That always happens more often than it should. So this is like another thing where it's like, cool, we're safe. Like you can really get it down. And you're going to see a lot smaller teams opening up once this goes back out. You're going to see the gym teams expand. There's going to be a lot more smaller teams. There's going to be like 5 or 6 guys where it's like, hey, we're just here together now. And this is going to be our thing. We reach out for other people food or strength and conditioning, but our core training partners are going to stay right here, and we're going to be in a close mile radius, and we're going to have contacts of very exclusive people with exclusive set of skills that are maybe further away, and that's it.
I think that's really interesting. Now, here's a positive thing that I didn't even think of until you started talking.
What?
I was watching UFC embedding, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it hit me when I was watching one of my friends, and he's Jess's head coach when we corner her, Eric Nixick, taking the fucking corona test.
Yeah.
Have you seen anyone take a corona test yet?
Yeah, it's painful.
I hadn't seen it. So the first time I saw someone sit and take the test was because of the UFC. And the fact that those episodes are live on YouTube now, mm-hmm. that anyone can watch them and everyone can watch them. Just seeing people take the test demystifies some of that idea of like, it's this terrible thing, it's painful, it's going to be awful. It's like you watch people do it and kind of like go, and then it's over, or do nothing. Like, and everyone either laughs about it or blows it off. So like, it demystifies some of that. And like with testing in general, especially in a time where there is some fear, right? It's good to expose people to that process and alleviate some of the fear that can be brought about by a lack of information or a lack of familiarity with the test. Right. So I think it's a positive thing that the UFC made those guys take those tests and recorded those guys taking those tests and then show that to the world. So that's a positive thing as well.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. If you don't live under a rock, yeah, it's pretty cool. So
I do live under a rock. Look, you son of a bitch. I don't watch the fucking news, all right?
I understand.
So I wasn't watching people get fucking Q-tip shoved to their nose on CNN. I wasn't going to subject myself to that because, especially in times like this, the news is literally the same story for like an hour,
Yeah.
and then like I don't need to do that. Like I can't do that. I can't do that.
Just watch it once and you're good.
You watch it.
I do. No, it is. No, honestly, that is a good idea because there would probably, not to be rude or disparaging, but there's probably places in like, you know, less successful countries or third world countries that haven't seen the test, don't even know what it is. So, to be fair, you are right.
I literally hadn't seen with my eyes someone take the test yet.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it until I saw that episode. I heard it go up through your nose and it goes really far and they touch your fucking brain. I heard all kinds of shit. But I watched Eric Nixick get that fucking Q-tip shoved in his face. And it made me feel more comfortable with the idea that I might have to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it won't be that bad. I probably
Which I do not want to do.
Yeah. But
no, at all.
Yeah.
I don't like being penetrated.
Hey, man. It's going to happen. Sorry.
Or who knows? Anyway.
Anthony,
do you have any weird news? Do you have a piece of weird news for me?
I do, but let me finish my pros. The other pros.
Oh, you still have more pros. I thought you said that's it.
No. The other two pros are just basically just the financial successes of the UFC and an increased fan base. Because if you're the only thing that's on, you're the only thing that's interesting.
Yep. When you're the only dance, everybody's coming.
Yes.
Right. That's so true. And I don't know, like, how other sports are going to function.
Yeah.
I think things like, and I'm not loosely calling pro wrestling a sport, but pro wrestling, boxing, MMA, these things I feel like would be easier to do because you only have to manage one competitor or one performer against one competitor or one performer.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you don't have to have 10 guys on a basketball court and then 10 more of those guys sitting on the sides for each team.
No.
Like, that's a lot to manage. Like, if does the bench now go all the way around the court for basketball? Who the fuck knows? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If they all have to be 6 feet apart, you just have a series of chairs that goes all the way around the fucking court now so we can all follow these rules. I don't know. But I think a fight is easier to execute.
Yeah. Oh.
Right.
Oh, also, the other thing is, great. As I'm talking about this, I get an article that pops up, bogus, from coronavirus protocol for UFC. That was hilarious. But what was I gonna say? The one con is that which is just funny is their protocol. It's like you knew Jacare was probably gonna test positive, and then
what do you mean?
Like they knew, like they were well aware that he was around people who are already sick, like who had the coronavirus, and it's not like he's an athlete. He'll be fine. He's a strong man, but it's like you don't want to bring it around other people who like that's the plan. I mean, I get it. There's the whole risk, but like the optics of it, you don't want that to happen.
Yes, you would not want to have a death linked directly to your actions if you are a business trying to operate during this pandemic.
Yeah.
I'll concede that. And right now I sound a lot like Elon. And there's a reason for that we will not discuss.
That's fair.
I'm just saying, dude. Like, I think that's the real concern. Nobody wants to have a link that's like, you did this, and then Grandma Norma is gone.
Right.
And Grandma Norma would be here right now if your greedy ass wasn't trying to put on these stupid fucking fights. Like, that's a narrative that somebody really wants to tell, honestly. Like, somebody can't wait.
Yeah. And UFC is already a fringe sport. Let's kind of like make it happen. That's what I'm saying. Get multiple fighters ready to go and fight. It's better to have them ready than have, whatever else. Have that backlash. Yeah. But each to their own. All right, let's see.
To each their own, Anthony.
Yep. So
quick shout out to MVP.
Ooh, MVP.
Been back on TV for WWE.
With that Japanese.
Shout out to the man.
Let's see. Fugitive caught after blowing his cover with a fart.
This is the weird news piece?
This is the weird news, yeah.
So, like, all right. So, I'm hiding from the popo. And they're searching. There's dogs. There's lights and shit. It's super hectic. And I'm quiet. And then you fart. And they find you. Like, imagine being in a horror movie and having the same scenario happen.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know why that's never happened. Maybe it's impossible to execute that without it being funny. Because like that had to have happened to a murderer too. Like somebody was hiding from a murderer,
Yeah.
and they fart, and they're like, "Oh, you're in that closet." They fucking hack you to pieces.
Oh, you know how they should do it? Oh, I just thought about it. They should. Basically, what should happen is that somebody should be having a stroke or a heart attack that's running from a murderer, and that's how you go about it. Because like that's one of the symptoms is like bad gas or like smelly gas. So,
Oh my god!
so that's what you should do. Actually, you should just like that's what happened. Like, I'm having a stroke. Come on, help me! And you see the guy's face is all, and then you like carry him. What the hell is that smell? Oh man, the gas. It's the gas. It's from the stroke. I've done this before. Trust me. And then,
Oh my god!
like,
So what happened with this guy?
so basically, similar to what you just said, is that literally this guy was running away. I think he was because he was they were trying to arrest him because he failed to appear at court.
Is he a Florida man?
No, this is in Northern Hampshire, Harworth. So I think this is somewhere in the London, the UK. You know, them Brits. But this basically what happened was there was this person chasing him. And this dude was a little bit faster, and then like dove in the bush, and this person comes by, and she's all huffing and breathing. I think it was maybe it was a she. I don't know. It sounded like a she. I don't know why I thought that. Maybe because I thought that's like anyway. So basically,
Fugitives are men. We know this.
yeah. So basically, the officer was like looking around, like he thought or she thought that they were in the woods, and they were about to go to the woods, and they hear like a, and then there's. They look around, and look at the bush, and they just walk over. It's like, hey, it's like, and of course the article.
Oh, you lose at hide and go seek, bro. Like you're dead. You lose. You were playing high risk hide and go seek, and you shit your pants, and now.
Yeah. Speaking of.
And now you lose, and that's the thing.
Yep.
Apparently, you can pass gas, but you can't pass go.
No,
You must go directly to jail. You go directly to jail.
I got one more for you, and you might like
Fucking
this.
hilarious.
You might like this. Do you know who Brian May is?
Brian May is the guitar player from Queen.
So then you'll feel very sad to hear that he tore his buttocks while gardening.
What?
Yes. So if you go on
Stop laughing about Brian May's butt.
it's like if you go on Instagram, a reality check for me. No, the virus didn't get me. Thank God. Hope you're all keeping extra safe out there. A decision to relax controls doesn't suddenly make the danger go away. But me, yes, I've been quiet. Reason, as well as getting overstretched and harassed by too many demands, I managed to rip my gluteus maximus to shreds in a moment of over-enthusiastic gardening. So suddenly, I find
I
myself...
bent over quickly to weed out my garden.
And then
I'm just innocently weeding. I bent, and then he tore his ass. Is it a shoot like muscle tear of his butt?
That's because like there's like a picture of him with the mask on, and he's like face down. It looks like somebody's like behind him in like a smock or something, like checking his butt. And he's like, "Yeah, I find myself in a hospital getting scanned to find out exactly how much I've actually damaged myself. Turns out I did a thorough job. This is a couple of days ago, and I won't be able to walk for a while or sleep without a lot of assistance because the pain is relentless. So, folks, I need to go dark for a while, getting some complete rest at home." Please don't send me sympathy. I just need some healing silence for a while. I'll be back. But I need the complete break, okay? Thanks. Take care out there. Bree. That's how he signs his message. Bry.
If I prayed, I would pray for Brian May's ass.
Let's see. What's this video? Is this how you get through now?
He's a fucking legend.
Are they wheelchairing
Listen
him
to Queen
around?
today. I declare now that not only is it UFC Day, it's Fight Day, it's also Queen Day. You must listen to at least 2 Queen songs today, or Brian May's ass will never repair itself. If you listen to 2 Queen songs, it's kind of like every time a bell rings, somebody gets into heaven or whatever bullshit. It's like that with Brian May's ass. That fucking sucks. See, now that I've laughed at that, there's a good chance that I'm going to injure my butt today.
Hey man. Well, we can make you feel better. We can tell you this. Turkish people believe that if children keep drawing rainbows, they'll turn gay. So,
Isn't that true?
It's a ploy. Apparently it's a ploy. I didn't know it was a ploy. I heard it was like, if you did it yourself, you could become gay. But it's a trick to turn you gay.
Oh, man.
So
I'm going to start drawing rainbows right now.
there you go.
Anthony,
Don't
it's
actually
been a wonderful podcast.
Don't actually hang up on me.
Cool.
Okay. Yep.
All right. For now, Internet, we must bid you adieu. It was lovely speaking to you. We miss you. We love you. And we will see you again very, very soon. Goodbye, Internet. XOXO.